Welcome back to Victini News. This is your host, Cuban. And wow, we're already halfway through the season, starting week 5, so it's already a second half. But week 5 is something we're going to talk about next week. Now, let's talk about week 4. Because week 4 showed us defense, resilience, and a kind of walls that can decide entire matches, whether it was Mega Scizor, Corviknight, or any of the other mons listed or seen here on the screen. Defense can, and in this case was, the difference maker this week. Let's start with the week 4 results. Legendary Landorus against the Hyderabad Hunt Crows. The two undefeated teams. And well, it was a slow and a calculated match. Cake rotated his Pokemons and his walls perfectly and used the Terra Fairy on the Dunsparce to shut down the Dragapult that already used Dragon Dance once to catch the Dragon Darts, Ginging the Moon and getting the kill with an Ice Beam. And thanks to Iron Valiant, who came in, got a kill, went out, and in the end cleaned up for a 4-0 victory. The Legendary Landorus are now the only undefeated team. If they can make it throughout the season without a single loss, well, we'll find out. This isn't the first time that Cake has been undefeated. Between the Fighting Landatees and the Oregon State Bidoos, we saw the Bidoos unleash Rain and Psychic Terrain. And, well, not only that, Tailwind Pelipper and Wind Power Kilowattrol broke through anything Red Sox Alex brought, with Pelipper leading the charge, hurricaning his way through an unwinnable point for Red Sox Alex. His great task managed to claw back a few KOs, but the Oregon State Bidoos managed to seal a convincing 3-0 victory. Then we saw the lively town Licky Licky facing the New York Hydreigons. And this one was more about control, especially from the side of Supreme, who used hazards early and then with his defense pivots made sure that Bang could never fully break through. Goldengo managed to score 3 strong kills, and even though Bang brought something really interesting and cool, the Rain Dance Palafin combined with Hurricane Terra Flying Jugulis, I thought he found something to break through this team. And hey, he managed to bring down a 5-0 to a 3-0, but he still lost, with the New York Hydreigons taking a 3-0 win against the lively town Licky. And then we have our match of the week from last week. We have the Ottawa Ordinaries against the ABBs. Glitchy Mix early on tried something with Robombi and Webs, but lack of interest gave an immediate answer with Blood Moon and Vacuum Wave on Ursaluna to get the kill on the Robombi. Later on we saw Meloetta barely surviving, allowing it to hit the Psyshock on the Terra Ghost Nihilego, bringing it in kill range for the Zorak Hisui. I'm not sure if without that Psyshock that Zorak would have killed, but that definitely helped, especially when Terrapagos later on also barely survived. Giving Hydrapple another turn on his Toxic to bring it low enough to, when Lopunny came in, being the new member of the team, going into Mega and sweeping, getting 4 kills and winning the match 3-0 for the Ottawa Ordinaries, taking their first win. Continuing to our next match, Dunsparce United against the Scarlet Knights. In the beginning of the match, it looked like the Scarlet Knights were just slowly chipping away the HP of the Dunsparce United Pokemon and being fully in control. Even when Magnicon came in, set up Reflect, and died to turn afterwards, it still looked like everything was fine. But then Pinsir hit the field. Pinsir not megaing turn 1, setting up a Sword Stance, and surviving the Supercell Slam. If it had Terrat, it would have died here. But thanks to it not tearing, it managed to sweep the rest of the Scarlet Knights team, getting 5 kills and securing a 4-0 victory for the Dunsparce United. Then we have the match that was technically played in week 3, but obviously, as this is week 4, I'm gonna talk about it today. We have the Nap squad against the Oslo Kodogis. And yeah, we saw round 1, Charizard X getting a kill on Florges. Then we saw round 2, Tienpo coming in and one-shotting Landorus, even though it had a Yachi Berry with Icicle Crash. And well, that was 2 rounds and 2 kills. By the time we reached turn 10, there were already 4 Pokemons gone. But in the end, Scarf Raikou managed to clean up and secure a 3-0 victory for the Nap squad. And our final match, the Boom Burst Backcommon against the Tennessee Titans. Alicalcos against Jomama, 2 Victini veterans. And this was Jomama's first taste of his new team. And, well, it showed promise. The Swoobat nearly managed to sweep thanks to electric terrain with electric seed and a combination of Calm Mind, Simple, and stored power. And well, if Alicalcos hadn't brought Destiny Bond on Miss Magius, we might have actually seen a new Victini legend rise to the top. But in the end, Scizor and Weezing were just too much of walls for Jomama's team. And, well, it ended up with a 2-0 loss for Jomama and a, 2-0 win for Alicalcos. Haha, I lied. There is still one more match. It's match of the week. And it's Drakeon against CB Fries, who went blow for blow. Early on in the match, we saw Blaziken barely surviving a hit and with 8% and getting switched out, only to later on come in front of Jolteon. I thought, did Drakeon maybe forget the speed boost interaction that it does not trigger when you come in with moves like U-turn? But no, he brought Scarf speed boost Blaziken, and with that he CC'd the Jolteon, killing it. And, well, bringing out the Mega Alakazam, who traced the speed boost. CB Fries tried to set up substitute with his Alakazam, but thanks to the CC spam from Blaziken, there was no way he's going to get a sub up. And in the end, he had to defeat the Blaziken while having taken heavy damage from 1 CC in the beginning, and then also setting up the substitute. Not only that, during the match, CB Fries set up Stealth Rocks. And, well, thanks to those, Iron Morph managed to get 2 quick kills. One of them was a Ninetales Alola. And as we all know, it set up Snow. And with Snow comes Sand/Alola, who managed to revenge kill the Iron Morph. But that wasn't the ending, that was the beginning. Because then Urshifu came in and revenge killed the Sand/Alola, but not without taking heavy damage. And then Drakeon came out with his Corviknight. And yeah, Iron Morph is dead. That is probably the best answer CB Fries had against the Corviknight. And it showed. Corviknight comes in, and thanks to roosting up, he managed to defeat the Mega Alakazam, the Urshifu, and then take the Seismic Toad, thanks to its rocky helmet, both to the grave, leaving us with just one little Pokemon just standing in the middle, or well, floating in the air with its little balloon that it didn't have in the match, of course. Mimikyu. And thanks to Mimikyu surviving, this was a 1-0 victory for Drakeon. What an amazing match between so much action back and forth. And hey, sometimes it's nice to see these matches with a Cover Knight involved. Otherwise, we see Cover Knight sit there for 20 or 30 or 40 turns, clicking Roost and doing nothing but walling a team. So this was a really nice change of pace. Looking up at some other, well, rankings we have our MVP rankings. And, well, they look pretty similar, all in all, because the kill leader and the bounty hunter list are completely the same. The Dunsparce, the monster of Victini, on first place. Then we have Jian Pao from Admiral taking second with 10 kills and 2 deaths. And the Iron Jagulet from Bang really shows how effective that Rain Dance and Hurricane combination with Terra Flying actually was, securing himself third place. And then, well, the underdog, the Dunsparce, is just gonna run away with this title, I think. This has been probably the most effectively played Pokemon in the division so far. But hey, my boy Beware is second, and I'm really happy about that. And the Titan taking third, still coming up with its 5-0 performance in the first week. Coming up, nickname of the week. The winner of this week, Joe Mama's Iron Threads, with All My Friends Are Fred. Joe Mama isn't winning this season's matches, and hey, this could change with next week. But at least he's winning nickname of the week. Funny enough, there were 2 of his own Pokemons listed on the top 3 for this week. But in the end, All My Friends Are Fred survived. Because, you know, you ever just battle somebody, you're the last Pokemon, and you come in, you're like, huh, all my friends are dead. Well, Fred was thinking that over the last few weeks. Hopefully, this will not be a trend it will have to endure. And maybe next week it can say that all my friends are alive. And of course we have favorite set of the week. And this week it's a double Tailwind from Green Purple Boy. Honestly, in the mod chat we usually joke about Tailwind because the only people who use it are Shaman people. And usually Tailwind is not very good in single matches. But Green Purple Boy showed how to effectively use Tailwind. Thanks to that, Pelipper suddenly was the fastest one, and thanks to its rain and the hurricane, hit really hard. And of course, the Kilovatral setting up Tailwind himself, even getting its own power boost through its ability, managing to one-hit KO a Spectria. Well, maybe we have to put down a little bit of respect on Tailwind. To be fair, I've been using it last season, and it's an interesting and niche way to use it, but I'm really happy to see Green Purple Boy pull out this set, or this tactic this week. I really enjoyed seeing it, and well, maybe we'll see more in the upcoming matches. Speaking of upcoming matches, we have our Week 5 schedule. This week, our first match will be the legendary Landorus against New York Low Kicks. Will the undefeated streak break? Will it continue? We'll find out this week. Then we have Dunsparce United against the Fighting Land OTs. Can the Dunsparce United take the momentum from last week's victory, or will the Fighting Land OTs recover and go into 3-2? Then we have the New York Hydreigons against the Nap Squad, which is our match of the week. A very bulky and defensive team from the New York Hydreigons against the combination of Raikou and Chiyu, who have been demolishing teams together. Who will come out on top? We'll have to find out. I can't wait to see these two teams fight each other, especially since they are basically next to each other in the rankings as well, with only 1 point of differential between them. Continuing, we have the Ottawa Ordinaries against the Oregon State Blues. Will Lopunny and the Ottawa Ordinaries start to build some momentum and, well, starting a comeback? Or will the Oregon State Blues say, no, not today? We'll see. Then we have the Scarlet Knights against the Oslo Okotogies. Two teams, 2-2, and, well, this is for position. We will see who can take a victory here, putting the other team lower on ranking and, well, giving them a good position to start into the playoff race. We have the Tennessee Titans against the ABBs. This match can already be called a survival match. Both teams are 4-0, and both teams tried to fight to stay in, to maybe even make it into another playoff run like last season. And our second to last match is the Hyderabad Punch Girls against the Carolina Incineroars, where Arsene managed to reset and focus on his next opponent, or will the Carolina Incineroars drag the Hyderabad Punch Girls into another slugfest? And after last week, I'm sure that they can win that if they actually drag it out. And our final match is the Lively Town Licky Licky against the Boom Burst Bergkamen. Both teams didn't have the best of starts into the season, and now with playoffs around the corner, who can manage to set up their first step towards the playoffs top 8 and maybe the Victini title? We'll find out all this week. Only 2 teams made changes this week. We have Arsene, who took out Tabulele and brought in Enamoros, while CP Fries took out Togekis, Lucario and Jolteon, putting in Araquanid, Rhyperior and Sylveon, taking out damage and speed to put in a lot of bulk. And thanks to Araquanid, there's still a lot of speed control now coming in with webs. It's gonna be interesting to see how these mons deal compare to the other ones. We had our reporter scour the world for the next member of Anon Victini, and he managed to snag a picture, but not without a price. Several Subats and Gobats attacked our fierce reporter, injuring him in the process, but we managed to get this picture of the 3rd member. So now this team is slowly showing up who will be facing one of you guys in the finals to hopefully keep Victini alive. But that's our future us to worry about. This was this week's episode of Victini News. Thank you all for watching. I wish you all a happy rest of the week and good luck in your match. This is Cuban. Goodbye.